and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four College Football Podcast. Let's get right into things with the Michigan-Ohio State game highlights. I will be commentating them because I'm a neutral party here, so I can commentate these highlights. 3rd and 4, Haskins. Oh, look, it's Olave. And he runs for a touchdown. Terrible defense by Michigan on that play. It's 7-0 Ohio State. Then it's, as you can see, the same play again. Just a breakdown on the defensive end right there. Then Shea Patterson looking for Gentry, and he drops it. Unbelievable. In the end zone. Would have given Michigan the lead, and he dropped it. Pretty good throw by the Savior, but not good enough because Gentry didn't catch it. Great play by Pete Warner. Pete Warner, great player. Gentry, not so much. Then it's Haskins. Looking. Touchdown. Olave again. And Olave was a big in this game. He would block a punt later. So again, a breakdown on the defensive end. How does he get that wide open? I don't even know. Then it's Haskins. He's looking. It's a touchdown. Johnny Dixon. What a throw by Dwayne Haskins.
Will you be talking about Joe Milton's touchdown?
We'll see if it comes up on the highlights. It's 21-6, Ohio State now. But Michigan has an ace up their sleeve after this highlight's over. It's Patterson. Nico Collins for the touchdown. Then he does some stupid celebration like he's winning. Should have been flagged right there.
I'm a neutral party. Oh, yeah.
No, I've been neutral in these highlights. So as you can see, touchdown, celebration by Collins. And then on the ensuing kickoff, the ball is just muffed by Ohio State. And it's picked up by Michigan at the 8-yard line. I don't even know who that is who picked it up. But it's first down, and then Patterson hits the best running back on the roster, Christopher Evans, for a touchdown. Michigan would go for 2 and not get it. But as you can see this play, beautiful throw by Shea Patterson. Oh, but things will change. And then Michigan tries to punt, and it's blocked by Olave and taken back for a touchdown. Ohio State special teams making up for their mistake earlier. As you can see, the fans are going crazy. Just unblocked. This Michigan special teams is just awful. And then it's Paris Campbell. He's taking it down the sideline for a 78-yard touchdown. Once again, a breakdown on defense by Michigan. Urban Meyer. Well, what a game plan by Ohio State, and my goodness, nobody's near him. It's like they're not even trying out there or something. And that's the highlights of the game, and let's go to the stats. As you can see, just a terrible game by Michigan. Their defense was awful in this game. Patterson was okay. Haskins was all right. Total yards, Ohio State had almost 600 yards of offense against the number 1 defense, supposedly, in the country. Michigan had 2 turnovers. But who cares? Let's get your reactions to this game right now. What are your reactions to this game? Okay.
Alex, go ahead.
Certainly wasn't the offense. Last year, in the past couple years, it was, we don't have a quarterback, and now we got a quarterback and put up 39 points in Columbus. And then the most amount of points the rivalry has literally ever seen. So, pretty embarrassing. That's all I have to say.
Luke, go ahead.
Absolute, utter domination out of Ohio State. They showed why Michigan sucks and
and why we are Michigan's daddy. That's all I have to say, really, is that we are Michigan's daddy. Jim Harbaugh will never be Urban Daddy Meyer.
Yeah, you're right, because he's not going to be coaching there next year. Neither of them will.
Well,
Urban Meyer will be here until he wants to leave. Then co-head coach Ryan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, smart ass. He'll be there until he wants to leave.
Urban Meyer is Ohio State royalty. Utter domination out of Haskins. Great game plan from Greg Schiano, even though I still think he should be fired. Great. Urban Meyer.
What?
Ryan
you had 39 hung on your defense.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike. You can go.
I was surprised, to say the least. I was expecting this quote-unquote great defense to show up and not give up 62 points.
Weren't we all?
The offense was okay. The 39 points doesn't matter. It was garbage time. They got most of their points in garbage time anyway. When it mattered, the Michigan offense was terrible. So
they're just predictable. It's so predictable.
Shea Patterson throwing that awful interception.
His arm got hit. You guys keep
excuses. That was a fluttering ball right to the Ohio State defender.
Okay.
That looked like a Peyton Manning ball his last year of his career. That's what it looked like. And then you got Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. He's a great coach. He did all he could, but his team just wasn't talented enough to win.
The offense was okay. It was good enough. The offense was good enough. They were not the problem. Patterson was okay. He's still the savior. He brought us from 8-5 to 10-2. And the bottom line is we just need a coach to bring us to 11-1 or 12-0. Anyways, that was not the problem. The problem in this game was, number one, preparation and game plan. Number two, the defense was awful. So let's start with the preparation. The two best teams on the schedule this year, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Two elite teams, the only two elite teams on our schedule. And Jim Harbaugh does not have the team ready to play. They come out there in the Ohio State game and give up 21 points in the first half.
That's not Jim Harbaugh. That's Don Brown. That's Don Brown's defense.
21 points in the first half.
Don Brown. That's not Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's an offensive coach. That's Don Brown. Maybe you should fire Don Brown.
It was going to be similar to Notre Dame, where they're going to straighten it out in the second half. Nope, they were actually even worse in the second half. This defense was god-awful. This is a fake defense. There's no doubt about that. They're fake defense. Don Brown is a fake defensive coordinator. The best team on their schedule last year, arguably the best team on their schedule, was Penn State at Happy Valley. And they gave 42 points. This team choked to elite teams. Their defense is fake. And, I was trusting this defense going into this game, and I thought it was going to be offensive, was going to let us down. Nope, it was the other way around. It was embarrassing.
I've been saying that for years, and nobody listened to me. Michigan is a great defense against terrible teams, but once they play good teams, then they can't stop anybody.
Yes. And to all the Michigan fans saying that 10-2 is a good season, I am appalled.
That's a great season. I would take that any day.
Yeah, because you're a Michigan State fan. First of all,
no.
We lost to 2 out of 3 rivals, and I said at the beginning of the season, if we did that, if we didn't beat 2, Harbaugh needs to go. And I know they have those 3 rivals on the schedule next year. They have all 3 of them. But there's no reason for me to believe they're going to win any one of those games.
All 3 of those games are at home.
I know. Notre Dame is going to the playoffs this year. Ohio State's obviously going to be good again, and Michigan State's turning a lot of guys. They're going to lose all 3 of those games next year. There's no reason for me to believe they're going to win. And the preparation has just been awful. The offensive game plan was very predictable. They fought through it because this Ohio State defense is not good at all. The defense is not good.
Better than Michigan's.
Very good against Michigan yesterday.
They were better.
They really weren't.
They were better than Michigan.
Game plan was awful. Michigan's offensive game plan was awful, and you still gave up 39 points.
Stop
That was
counting garbage time.
Plan I've ever seen. Other notes, Joe Milton, he threw that pick, but you got a cannon of an arm. It's going to be a bright future for him.
Yeah, Brian Lewerke has a cannon of an arm, too.
They got to beat this team. Got to get over the hump.
Dude, Ohio State just ran crossing routes the whole game.
Well, they should have been ready for it.
I just don't understand.
It was so stupid. Dwayne Haskins threw for like 5 touchdowns, and all he did was throw like 3-yard crossing routes.
I just don't understand why the last person I'd be blaming is Jim Harbaugh right now, because he didn't come up with a defensive game plan. I don't know what you're talking about. He's not a defensive coach. That's Don Brown's responsibility.
Listen, I'm blaming Don Brown and Jim Harbaugh, and I'm calling for their entire staff to be fired. I'll be talking about what to replace them with later when we talk about Jim Harbaugh.
All right, are we good on this topic? All right, let's move on. Is Ohio State playoff contenders this year?
Yes, because one of two things will happen. Either Oklahoma will lose to Texas, or Clemson will lose to Pitt, and Ohio State will be Ohio State's getting it, because I want to go to the Rose Bowl.
Well, I guess technically you could say that, but they're not going to get in.
They need help.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen.
Enjoy the Peach Bowl.
I hope we play UCF so bad.
Yeah, I will be picking UCF that game.
I think Chris might commit suicide if UCF beats Michigan. Luke, is your team playoff contenders?
I think we deserve to make it, but I don't think we will. I don't think the committee.
You do not deserve to make it.
We deserve it.
Over Oklahoma.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Just look at every single strength of schedule and win anything.
You lost to Purdue by like 25.
It won't matter, Luke, because you're going to get help and you're going to get in. We will get in, and we deserve to be in over Oklahoma. No, you will get help. We get.
Well,
Michigan State, Penn State. We're going to beat Northwestern, and all were ranked. Whoa. You are now citing Michigan State as a good win. I cite them as a good win, and I get ripped by everybody.
They're not. That's not a good win.
That we beat when they were ranked at the time. I'm not saying they were ranked when they played us. That is not a good win. Michigan State sucked. They were ranked at the time. Okay. TCU was ranked.
Doesn't mean anything.
6 and 6. TCU was a good team at the time. Oh God.
Well, is Ohio State a playoff contender? I guess so. I mean, I think they had a much better chance of making it last year than they do this year. They should have made it last year.
Oh, ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. They should have made it last year. This year, Oklahoma.
You better be rooting for Alabama, because they're getting in whether they win or lose.
So Ohio State's one loss was a 30-point loss. Oklahoma's one loss was a 3-point loss. And if they win, they'll avenge that loss. So Oklahoma deserves it more, obviously. They beat a tough.
Oklahoma hasn't played anybody. They played what?
Oh, come on! TCU was good at the time when they played them.
They were good. Played them.
They played West Virginia and beat them on the road.
Hey, Luke, do you know that Oklahoma has the 31st strength of schedule and Ohio State has the 57th? Strength of schedule? What's the record? Give me the strength of record.
Well,
Oklahoma played. Are we going at the time or in the present as of right now?
Which one's better for Ohio State?
And if you look at it, the Army win wasn't even that bad because the Army's now ranked. Or they will be.
Strength of record, Oklahoma's 5, Ohio State's 8.
All right, then.
Top 25 wins, Oklahoma State 3, Ohio State 2.
Oklahoma State? Where'd you get that from?
Oklahoma, sorry. Oklahoma. FPI, Oklahoma 5, Ohio State 7.
All right, and with this committee, I'm sure the committee will put Ohio State in front of them because that's what this committee does. Frank Beamer will be lobbying for a second ACC team, as Joel Klatskas will be saying.
It's Oklahoma when they've let up 40 points to the last 3 opponents. They have their defense has more holes than...
Oh, come on. Enough with the defense.
Defense is any good? Are you kidding me?
It's here, bottom line. Their defenses suck. Both their offenses are good. Oklahoma's played a better schedule. Therefore, Oklahoma's in.
Listen,
it's not hard.
Defense is the most overrated aspect of the game. Look at Michigan. They had a great defense.
All you want to talk about Michigan State is how great their defense is.
Exactly, and we only went 7-5 with a great defense. That just proves defense is not as important as other aspects of the game.
It depends what conference you play in.
Okay.
If you play in the Big 12, defense means nothing.
It doesn't mean nothing anywhere.
You play in Big 12 teams? No, you're not.
All right,
Big 12 doesn't play in the college football playoff.
How about the Pac-12? I don't even know what they do. I don't think they play football at all.
I'm hyped. Michigan, Utah, in the Rose Bowl.
That might be the worst. That might be the worst Rose Bowl of all time.
My pick almost looked genius with the BYU pick.
They blew it.
They were down 27-0 and they were up 27-0 and lost.
Dude, my pick was looking so good for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, BYU beat Wisconsin, so. All right, let's move on. Is Jim Harbaugh on the hot seat?
What did you say?
Is Jim Harbaugh on the hot seat?
Yeah, he is. He's been on the hot seat in my mind for the last 3 years.
Well, this is why we don't take you seriously.
Ever since the fumbled snap, he's been on the hot seat. It's getting ridiculous. It is getting absolutely ridiculous. He's 0-4 against Ohio State. He's 2-2 against Michigan State. That's okay. That's fine. But the bottom line is he's beaten 0 elite teams in 4 years. He's not beaten 1 elite team, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the winningest program of all time to have a mediocre coach. The talent on this roster, there's no denying it, is better than Ohio State. And I was saying they're a better team, but they're not because the coach is part of the team, and they get grossly outcoached every time they play Ohio State.
Chris, saying Michigan, because they're the winningest program of all time, should be the best team is like saying because Georgia Tech had Joe Heisman as their head coach, they should be the best team.
No,
it's completely irrelevant.
Those national championships, they should get the best coaches and the best players. You should have high expectations, is the bottom line. Jim Harbaugh, he's got to go. And I hear the rumors are circulating that he may be done. But I can't say anything yet.
Oh, give me a break.
They got I'll tell you who's going to replace him. By the way, first of all, Cliff Kingsbury, what happened to Texas Tech gets selected for one of the 5 and 7 teams to make a bowl?
Well, they won't. They're not making a bowl. They don't deserve it.
They do. But anyways.
They don't!
They need to bring in Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator. And they need to bring in Gus Malzahn as their head coach.
And then we'll go 6-6 every year.
No, Gus Malzahn.
You got 7-5 versus 5.
What has Gus Malzahn ever done?
I'll tell you what he's done. He's Nick Saban's daddy.
What? What now?
He owns Nick Saban. He owns Alabama.
What they lose by yesterday? Like 32 or something?
Well, they've had a down year. Let me tell you.
Look who's their quarterback.
Garrett Stidham's a solid quarterback. I'll tell you. He's a very solid quarterback. What he did with that team led by Nick Marshall, he led a Nick Marshall quarterback team to a title game. Are you kidding me?
Well, Nick Marshall's better than Dwayne Haskins.
Better than who?
He's better than Dwayne Haskins, and he's better than Jarrett Stidham.
Oh, boy. No. Gus Malzahn, he's a proven winner. He wins big games.
Proven winner? A proven 8-4 coach. What are you talking about?
No, he wins big games.
What big game?
Kingsbury, one of the better offensive minds.
Name one. Besides the kick six. Besides the kick six, name one big game he's won.
The Georgia game on the Hail Mary thing.
So 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
Wrapped up by Gus Malzahn.
Give me a break.
Let me tell you, here's our miracle situation. I know Lincoln Riley's eyeing the NFL.
Oh, give me a break. No, enough. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Michigan, not their number one choice, obviously, but Gus Malzahn's the guy, and Cliff Kingsbury's our OC.
Okay.
Get rid of Don Brown, and I don't know, bring in somebody else. Bring in Rob Bryant.
Okay, so if you Lincoln Riley, okay, that's like saying because Nick Saban coached at Michigan State, we have a chance to get him next year. That's
No.
in fact, Nick Saban. That is the equivalent.
Michigan is the better job.
What do you mean the better job?
Over the
Michigan's
NFL?
the better head coaching job. Michigan's the better head coaching job over Oklahoma.
No.
Over the,
Are you insane? Are you insane?
Hey, I'll tell you why. This is the same reason that Jimbo Fisher went from Florida State to Texas A&M. Texas A&M, historically better program. Florida State has been great. Was great when Jimbo Fisher was there.
Historically better program? Are you on crack?
Michigan is a better program than Oklahoma. It's not even close.
Texas A&M is not better than Florida State. Are you smoking?
Better program, yes, they do.
No, it's
Better
not.
program.
Florida State won a national championship.
You go to the SEC school. You go to the Big 10 school over the Big 12 school. That's the bottom line.
Well, they were in the Big 12.
Hey, why did Scott Frost go to Nebraska from UCF? Because Nebraska's a better job.
No, because that's his alma mater, Smarty.
No, it's a better job.
you should take the Illinois job over the Oklahoma job.
I'll tell you what. Our actual miracle choice is if we can lure Lovie Smith from Illinois.
Oh, boy. Lovie Smith. Our dream scenario is if we can get Pat Narduzzi back from Pitt. I mean, it's ridiculous. All Jim Harbaugh has done is saved your crappy program, and all you do is crap on him. You know where this team was 3 years ago? 5-7.
Doesn't matter. It's not good enough. Championships are bust.
Yeah, well, I hope if he leaves, I hope your team goes back to 5-7, like it deserves to be. You're the Tennessee of the North. Just realize that you are, and stop it with the stupid the stupid expectations.
Well, Michigan fans need to step up. I'll tell you what, they need to step up, and they're acting like Cowboy fans at this point. You gotta, come on. I mean, come on. Who cares if we lost to teams that are combined 22-1? No one cares. You're supposed to beat those teams if you're going to be an elite program. Get it done.
Well, the thing is, Michigan is not an elite program anymore, and Michigan fans need to realize that. They're not.
It doesn't matter. They're always going to be an elite program no matter what.
No, they're not. That's like saying Georgia Tech was an elite program because they had John Heisman.
No. Yale is still an elite program.
Wait. What did you just say?
Programs like Yale and Harvard, they're always going to be elite programs.
Okay.
So the first team to ever play college football is now going to be elite forever just because they're the first ones?
No, because they've won national titles. They have like 11. Yale and Harvard.
In like the 1800s?
I'll tell you what, Yale is a better job than Oklahoma.
Alright, you're done.
Listen,
talking.
Oklahoma, more funding, better fan base. Skip Bayless is a fan. Skip Bayless is not a Michigan fan.
Actually, I'll give you that.
Although he is a Michigan fan the way he talks about Michigan. Listen, Oklahoma, that's a 10 times better job. It's not cold in the winter. With that offense, he can throw it all around. It's not cold. Play these crappy defenses. Doesn't have to play Ohio State every year. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, to say Oklahoma's not a better job.
It's not even close. It's not even remotely close.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's retardation on another level right there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Let's move on before someone kills somebody.
Just ridiculous. All Jim Harbaugh has done is saved your team. All you do is crap on him.
Well, he hasn't beaten a single elite team. He beats all the crappy teams. So.
Okay.
He didn't do that 3 years ago. So.
Actually, he was coaching here 3 years ago, and I remember a certain fumbled snap.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on from this. Oh boy. Where will Michigan go from here? How will Michigan end the season?
It depends who they play.
Yeah. Depends. If they got a bowl game like usual. They'll lose in the bowl game, let down the Big Ten again.
Exactly.
Now, look, if they play a Pac-12 team, they'll win. If they play UCF, they'll win. If they play any other team, they'll lose.
Well, I think
I don't know why you're sleeping on UCF, but okay.
They're not going to play UCF. That's ridiculous.
They might.
No, they
They're going to be
won't.
ranked higher next week.
No, they're not. The playoff
You
committee
want to
hates
bet? You want to bet?
I will bet.
Okay, well, you don't make bets, so.
Okay.
Michigan is never going back to the Rose Bowl. I'm telling you right there. They'll never be
Well, they're
back.
going this year, so.
No, they're not. The only way they're going to play in the Rose Bowl is if they play UCLA on the road. Maybe they should schedule a road game against UCLA. That's the closest thing they're going to get.
This year because Ohio State's going to the playoffs.
No. They'll be in the Fiesta Bowl against Washington State, and we can have a Mike Leach, Jim Harbaugh matchup.
Dude, choker.
Yep. And then if Michigan loses to Washington State, I could say, oh look, Michigan State beat Washington State in a bowl, and you couldn't. That would be great. But Michigan will probably choke to whoever they play in a bowl because they go 10-3 every year. It seems like this will be the third time in 4 years they go 10-3.
If they win, this will be Jim Harbaugh's best season in Michigan. I'll give him credit there.
And you still want them gone.
Okay, then.
As Paul Feinbaum said today, you got to look in the mirror. You want a coach who continually loses to your biggest rival every single year.
Well, that wasn't his fault. This game wasn't his fault. It was Don Brown's fault. Don Brown should look in the mirror. I want to see this Michigan revenge tour for next year. How sad it will be.
We are on the basketball revenge tour. We have the basketball revenge tour. We have North Carolina this week. Big revenge game.
Okay, then.
It's a maze out at Chrysler. I heard College Game Day will be there.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Actually, College Game Day
will be there.
College Game Day will be in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh,
big game. Anyway, let's move on to big win for Michigan State. They beat Rutgers 14-10. They were down 10-7 in the fourth quarter, but Cody White saved the day with a 22-yard reverse for a touchdown. And that's all this defense needed to win the game. What a season for Michigan State, right, guys?
So let's go back over this. How many points did Michigan State go up to Rutgers?
I'm going to give them 3.
10.
3.
How many points did Michigan go up to Rutgers?
7.
7. But it doesn't matter because Michigan State defense is better. Despite the fact that they tried to give up this game in the fourth quarter by letting up a field goal. Their offense bailed up once again. The offense has bailed up this defense all year.
That's because we punted out of our own end zone and the guy returned to the 25. It's not really our fault that we gave up a field goal from the 25. We started to drive at the 25-yard line. In fact, it was a 3-and-out. You got a 3-and-out? Anyway, what a game by, I forgot his name, from Rutgers. The quarterback.
Racino.
Giovanni Racino. He's nasty.
He made some great throws.
He did make some great throws. He also ran...
Why didn't Arthur Zikowski play in this game?
Because it was senior night and Chris Ash wanted to give it to the Michigan native, Giovanni Racino. See if he could make a magical run happen. And also Zikowski has 20 interceptions. That probably went into it too. But anyways, great win. But I'm not even going to...
Okay.
This defense shows up. Rocky Lombardi has been completing under 40% of his passes the last 2 games. And I don't know what to say. He is so bad. I can't. He's the worst quarterback I've ever seen play at Michigan State. And we've had some bad ones over the years. We've had Tyler O'Connor, Damian Terry. I mean, my gosh. He is so bad. We couldn't run the ball. Shocker there. Lombardi could run it a little bit. That's about it. Our passing game is terrible. And
Lewerke, how about that pick that Lewerke threw? It's embarrassing.
Lewerke, who was our holder, threw a pick.
How about that the muffed field goal that Lewerke? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just mark it.
That's your season in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah, pretty much. But we're going to the Gator Bowl. That's a big bowl game for us. We'll play probably Vanderbilt. It's a big bowl game for us.
We'll play Auburn.
No, I hope we don't play Auburn. Hope we play a team. Actually, I hope we do play Auburn. Even though Auburn's not a great win, I mean, we get to shut down Jarrett Stidham. That would be pretty fun. Anyways, great end to the season with a nice loss to Nebraska on the road. Okay, let's move on from this. All right, who has the better defense, Michigan State or Michigan?
Michigan State, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I thought Michigan showed up in the big game. They show up. Oh my goodness, they show up in the big game, don't they?
I didn't say that.
I will quote you.
Michigan's defense steps up when
Michigan's defense steps up when it
it matters.
matters. That was what you said on the last podcast.
Okay, that doesn't mean they step up in the big games. It means they step up in the fourth quarter against bad teams.
So you're saying the big games do not matter. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. Big games don't matter.
Okay, then. That's okay. Well, Michigan State's defense, I've been saying it all year, has been better than Michigan. Kenny Willekes, who got the team MVP, just unbelievable. He didn't play well against Rutgers, but Rutgers is a tough team, as you saw yesterday. Great game by Josiah Scott, who has finally come back. He was our best corner last year, and next year he'll be our best corner too. We got Justin Lane on the other side, and then really Michigan just was awful. They looked like Oklahoma's defense out there. In fact, worse. I've never seen anything like it. Well, those highlights, I mean, they were just running wide open. Michigan State's that would not happen against the Mark D'Antonio defense, except for last year. But our defense wasn't that good last year. They're dominant this year. And did you guys know the score after 3 quarters? Michigan's defense gave up 41 to Ohio State. Michigan State's defense gave up 7 offensive points to Ohio State in 3 quarters. It's just embarrassing for Michigan. All right, I think I've said this point enough. Let's move on to the worst picks of the week from last week.
Hey, how about the best pick of the week? Me calling the Michigan choke.
No, because Luke called it too. So,
I didn't have I just had Ohio State beating them.
Yeah, okay. So here's what I'm gonna do, because you guys can't hear this. I'm gonna play it. Then I'm gonna tell you what Chris said. So I'm gonna play the first one. This is about Chris's pick. Chris's Auburn pick from last week.
I agree. That's why I'm ready for Auburn this weekend. That's why I'm taking Auburn this weekend. Hey, Jerry, give me Auburn.
That's right. Chris picked Auburn last week to beat Alabama. Unbelievable. He also picked Illinois to beat Northwestern. Louisville to beat Kentucky. North Carolina to beat NC State.
Oh, that was a close game. Come on.
University of South Florida to beat UCF. He did get one. I will give him credit. He did get one big game right. He did get the Washington game right. That was a spot-on pick. I should have picked Washington. I should have known. But besides that, you deserved that 11-16 week because you were just terrible. We cannot have another 11-16 week.
That Auburn game, I'll tell you what, Auburn was in that game. They had a couple tough touchdowns at the end.
Well, we aren't picking will they be in the game. We're picking who's gonna win.
It was a tough outing. I had a tough week. Bottom line. I trusted Lovie Smith, but he couldn't get the job done.
You picked Louisville over Kentucky.
Hey, listen, Louisville's a tough place to play.
2-8. You picked 2-8 UNC, who just fired their coach today.
Yeah, they went to overtime.
They did go to overtime.
He said after the game that there wasn't a fight.
Oh, that's the Michigan needs to hire Larry Fedora.
Oh.
He has like 5 screws loose in his head.
Isn't he the guy who said CTE doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he has some.
He's a savage, dude. Absolute savage. All right, let's move on to picks. This is the conference championship week. As you can see, Luke holding on to a 3-game lead. Chris is 19 games back right now. He would literally have to go undefeated in something.
I'm gonna make it up in bowl season.
What do we got? Like 50-something bowls he can make it up in. Whatever. All right. First game, the MAC championship. Northern Illinois versus Buffalo.
Buffalo is a good team.
Who's Buffalo playing?
Northern Illinois.
I'm taking Buffalo. Buffalo.
I will also be taking them.
Yeah, Buffalo, they've proven they're a decent team. They had that thing where they were, like, them and Michigan were the only 2 teams in the poll for football and basketball. But it doesn't matter because you all took Buffalo. I'm taking Northern Illinois.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay.
7-5 Northern Illinois.
That's how we're gonna make up ground.
There's a great chance to win this game. They only lost by 7 to Western Michigan. That's a good team. They only lost by 11 to Utah, and they got blown up by Iowa. This is a good team. I'll tell you what, this is a good team, and they're going to beat Buffalo.
Oh, this is a good matchup right here. I'm shocked that Chris even picked this game. I thought he didn't pick MAC games, but apparently he does. So, big game, Buffalo. They did lose to Miami of Ohio by like 50. Or no, was it Miami of Ohio or Ohio? They lost to somebody by a lot. Ohio. They lost to Ohio by a lot. Ohio's a good team though. And then Northern Illinois, big win over BYU earlier this year. The MAC showing it. The MAC flexing its muscles with that win over BYU. But I'm going to go with Buffalo in this game. All right. The Pac-12 championship game, Utah versus Washington.
You got to go with Washington here. I don't know. I don't trust Utah, and I think Washington's been there before, even though I don't like them. Go
Oh my god.
Someone call 911.
I will be taking. I am 3 games down. I'm taking Utah. I think Washington's gonna come out gassed after the snowball in Poland.
The snowball.
Dude, it was snowing pretty hard.
Well, Utah was down 27-0 to BYU, so I'm going to take Washington. Texas and Oklahoma for the Big 12 championship game.
to be like Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament last year. We got one team, their kryptonite, and that's going to be Texas. Texas is going to win this game.
Kyler Murray's nasty. I'm taking Oklahoma.
Texas is the better team. Okay, cool. Hook 'em. Go Texas. Okay, cool. Hook 'em.
Well, we know why he picked them.
Are they back though, Luke?
Yeah, you can't lose to Maryland and be back. So I'm going to take Oklahoma in a blowout.
Texas is better than Oklahoma.
That's ridiculous.
Oh my God! They'll prove it when they beat them. When Texas beats Oklahoma this week, I want an apology, and I want you to play it on the best takes of the week on the next week's podcast. Oh, I was going to come on here and ask for a public apology from Alex for him ridiculing me to no end when I called the Michigan choke last week.
I will not be apologizing.
I think we can call it the Don Brown choke.
Yeah.
Anyway, Oklahoma's going to win in blowout fashion. Texas is awful. Oh, the Sun Belt Championship. Louisiana at App State.
As a Michigan fan, I have to take App State.
They should have beat Penn State, so I'm going to take them.
They're your second daddy. Your second daddy with Urban Meyer. Yeah.
App State should be in a better conference, so I'm going to take them.
I think App State's better. I'll take App State. But the Raging Cajuns? The Raging Cajuns are nasty. But I'm going to take App State.
Well, App State shouldn't even be in this game if Georgia Southern didn't choke their game last week. But it happens to be App State's in this game, so I'm going to take App State. This game's also at home, so I'm going to take App State. Oh, this is a big game. We got 8-3 Marshall at 5-6 Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech trying to get into a bowl game. Big game right here. Who wins?
Yeah, I'm taking Virginia Tech by 50.
Virginia Tech sucks. I'm taking Marshall.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I'm sending the Luke. Let's go.
Oh my God! Clack, 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 ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. You know what that sound is?
Do it. Let's go.
Thundering herd. The thundering herd. Ah! Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. I'm taking Marshall.
I'm just going to go ahead and take Virginia Tech. All right, next game.
Well, there's a reason Luke and I are in first and second.
Well, I'm actually tied with you in second place. So.
Are you? I thought you were getting back.
No.
And I'm right on you guys.
Yeah, only. And Chris is 16 games back of second place. We got University of Alabama Birmingham at Middle Tennessee for the Conference USA Championship game.
Yeah, I'll go with Middle Tennessee, and Mike, I expect Middle Tennessee pick out of you too, because you must pick them as Michigan State fan.
We'll see.
I will be taking UAB. Solid team.
UAB didn't have a program 2 years ago. They're going to cut them out. I think they're playing for something. They're playing for passion. That's also where Roddy White went, so I'm going to take UAB.
Okay.
Roar! Roar! That's the sound of a dragon.
It's a blazer. All right. Middle Tennessee is favored in this game. This game's actually at Middle Tennessee. It's in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Big game, Middle Tennessee, good basketball program. Not so much on the football side. I'm going to take the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Give me Bama. We got Stanford at Cal. This game got rescheduled because of the forest fires. Who wins this game?
I will go with Stanford.
Where's the game, Cal?
It's at Cal, but they don't have a home field advantage, so.
Nobody's going to games, so.
That's true. Let's see here. I'm tempted. I'm very tempted to pick Cal in this game.
Well, Cal's... All right.
I think Bryce Love is going to be too much. He's going to run for like 150 yards. I'm going to take Stanford.
Well, the problem is here that I don't know what the tree makes for a sound, so I can't pick a tree team. So,
knock on wood.
I think I like Cal. I'm a big Cal fan, so I'm gonna have to take the Golden Bears. Roar, cha-ching! Roar, cha-ching! That's a Golden Bear right there.
I don't know what I just heard. Yeah, my man Justin Wilcox did a great job at Wisconsin. He's doing a great job at Cal. Give me Cal. They'll be ready for this rivalry game. Stanford has no defense. Give me California. The American Championship game. Memphis at UCF, a rematch of last year.
Well, Memphis should have won the game last year in the championship game, and they should have beaten UCF when they played them earlier this year.
And they
will avenge the loss, so I'm taking Memphis. I also don't like UCF.
Obviously.
I think everybody knows my pick. I'm picking UCF.
I'm thinking Memphis, because Memphis is UCF's kryptonite.
No, that's why they lost the past 2 times.
Roar! Roar! Tiger!
Well, Memphis doesn't have Riley Ferguson, and UCF doesn't have Mackenzie Milton, so it's an even matchup. This game's at Spectrum Stadium. Big home field advantage for the Knights. This is a toss-up. You can go either way. Man, I'm gonna go with UCF. Just because they're at home. That's the only reason why I'm picking UCF. Yeah, I'm taking UCF. All right, fine. Alabama against Georgia for the SEC championship game.
I'll go with Alabama, and it's going to be a blowout.
No, but you picked Auburn last week.
Yeah, Auburn's a better team than both these teams. I'll take Alabama.
You are not allowed to talk. I'm taking Alabama. I actually think this will be a close game. I think it's going to be Alabama's defense is going to be the difference maker.
I'll pick Alabama because they're the second best team in the country.
Okay.
I don't know what... Woo! Woo! That's an elephant.
This is Alabama. Alabama's going to win this game. This might be the worst 1-4 matchup of all time. Rodrigo Blankenship will keep him in the game, but I'm going to take Alabama. Fresno State at Boise State, a rematch of last year in the Mountain West Championship.
First of all, Mike, how about your Utah State Aggie?
Well, it's tough to win on the road at that place, so.
Yeah. That's the reason why Boise's going to win.
Fresno State, I think, is the better team, so I'm going to take them.
Oh, boy.
Give me Fresno State. Watch.
Is this the second time Alex has taken Fresno State at Boise State?
What do you mean? They already played, did they?
Yeah, we already did this pick like 3 weeks ago. I don't even remember. It's literally the same pick.
Yeah, I think I probably did. They lost, so I'm still taking them. They got something to play for.
I'm going to take Utah State. What?
What?
Is that the game, Utah State, Boise State? Is that what Mike said?
No.
That was last week.
Fresno State, Boise State. Oh, I'll take Boise State. I don't know what sound a Bronco makes, so I don't know. But I'll take Boise State.
It's a horse. Okay. Yeah,
Hey!
I bet against Boise State last week and I got burned. I'm not betting against Boise State. I'm taking Boise State. Clemson and Pittsburgh for the ACC championship game.
It's going to be a very, very close game.
Okay.
But Clemson will prevail.
I also think this will be close. It'll be 65-0 Clemson. It'll be close on the opening kick when it's 0-0.
Roar! Roar! That's not the sound of a panther. That's the sound of a tiger. And I'll take Clemson.
Okay then. Well, as much as I love my man Pat Narduzzi, his team's outmatched in this game. Just like they were outmatched against UCF earlier this year in a blowout loss. Only this team's better. Clemson in a blowout.
This might be the worst Power 5 conference championship in the last couple of years. This is terrible.
Nah.
Might be worse than Northwestern Ohio State.
Northwestern's good.
Well, Northwestern's like 19th in the country, so.
Pitt seems to be ranked every week, no matter how much they lose by.
No, they're not going to be ranked after that loss this week.
That's true.
To a great Miami team.
7-5 Miami team.
Yeah, 7-5 Pitt.
How do you go 7-5 in the ACC? That's just absurd.
Why don't you ask your boy Pat Narduzzi?
Well, he did lose to Notre Dame. He lost to Notre Dame and UCF. Those are two tough losses. Okay, Northwestern against Ohio State for the Big Ten championship.
Give me Ohio State.
Ohio State in the blowout.
Northwestern's going to play up. I'm punching my head right now because that's what Brutus does. Brutus. Ohio State, give me them Buckeyes, the third best team in the country.
Did you know the Nutcracker was invented in Chicago, Illinois in the 1800s? Where does Northwestern reside? Chicago, Illinois. Actually, I don't know that. I just made that up. But I'm going to take Ohio State, even though Northwestern will keep it close. All right, this is probably the game of the week right here. We got Muhlenberg at Mount Union.
I'm going Muhlenberg. Let's go!
He's taking Muhlenberg. Oh, my God.
Muhlenberg is much better.
Oh, my God.
Mount Union might be able to hang with Alabama. I'm gonna take the Purple Raiders.
Mount Union's so good. Bama wants them. They don't want Bama. Bama wants them. That's the reason I'm rolling with the Purple Raiders. Let's go.
Well, did you hear that 4-team tournament that's going to happen next year? Alabama, the Citadel, Mount Union, and Maine. The best 4 teams in the country going at it. Anyways, I'm going to take the Purple Raiders. Give me Mount Union. And now for the real game of the week. Jacksonville State at Maine.
Well, Maine has a great home field advantage. Alphon Stadium. Attacking Alphon, that's their hashtag for this weekend. Great running back, catcher. But Maine has a choking history. I'm rolling with Jacksonville State. Plus, they stole the Michigan logo, so they're going to lose.
I do think Maine has that great home field advantage. It'll probably be like 20 degrees. Jacksonville State won't be ready for it. I'm going to go with Maine.
Jacksonville State's the Dolphins, right?
No, that's Jacksonville. They're the Gamecocks.
What's Jacksonville State?
The Gamecocks.
The Cocks?
The Gamecocks.
I'm taking Maine. If there were the Dolphins, I would have taken Jacksonville State. But because they're the Gamecocks, some nickname, I'm taking Maine. Black Bears, roar!
Well, black bears are the worst type of bear of all time. They're a bunch of bitches. So I'm gonna take the Gamecocks and Jacksonville State. All right, that'll be it for this episode of the Big Four Football Podcast. We will have the very anticipated basketball podcast come up in the next couple of days, probably tomorrow. So thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next time.